Hi friends, welcome to the new video and welcome to the new studio. As you can see, my background is slightly different and I'm happy to finally show the entire process of me renovating this space. I've done quite a lot of changes. I painted my furniture. I've got a new desk, a large desk that can finally fit all of my papers when I paint and when I work, and it can also fit a few of my hobbies. I finally brought in my sewing hobby into the studio as well, and I created a separate area for it. I now make artist aprons and brush cases. You can check them out on my Etsy shop. And one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this renovation is because even though my previous space was quite nice and neatly organized, but it felt more like an office rather than a studio. And I wanted my creative space to kind of have this craft room feeling to it. I wanted to have my art supplies neatly organized on display. I wanted to have designated areas to different hobbies and different art projects that I do. I also wanted to have my sewing area, as I said, kind of easy to reach for and easy to set up and break down. And I'm happy with how it turned out. And I took my time arranging this because I also wanted to show it to you when it's kind of a little lived in and not just freshly decorated, because I wanted to make sure that this setup is really working for me. And another very exciting part of this video is that I'm going to review one product that was sent to me by a lovely company that fits right in with my reorganization, because it's also made for organizing and storage for small spaces. So stay tuned for that, because I'm going to share a coupon code that's going to be active for 2 weeks since this video comes out. So you don't want to miss that. And without further ado, let's jump into the renovation. I want to give a little bit of explanation of what I was doing while painting my furniture, because this was the first time I did it. There were some mistakes that I made and some lessons that I learned. So what I did first was that I sanded all of the furniture just to scrape off a little bit of that glossy finish. And once I started priming, I realized that I did not sand it enough. I really had to dig into that varnish that was on the furniture. But another lesson that I learned is that using a white primer on a white furniture made me miss a lot of spots. So I wish I tinted my primer just a little bit. And the paint that I use is actually a cabinet paint also for doors and trims. It's a little bit more durable to scratches and cleaning. That was recommended to me at the store, and I just thought I'll go with that one. So far it's been holding on really well. I started with painting the corners and then used a soft roller to cover up the larger areas, and overall it took me 2 layers. to get a nice and solid finish, and I pretty much spent the whole day painting this. I also painted one of the walls, just repainted it with a fresh white coat. And the next day, now is the fun part begins. My husband helped me install the desk, the tabletop, and some of the shelves on the walls as well. All of the shelves were from Ikea, and all the stuff you see me unpacking here were also from Ikea. I just like how simple they are and how functional they are, and they fit overall really well with my design. One of the new additions to the space is also this space outside of the studio, where I now have my designated printing area. I have my printer for all of the giclée prints, I have my Cricut, I have printer just for regular office stuff, and I also have all of my shipping supplies right here, and also all of the papers and all of the craft stuff. This is all of my camera stuff in here. But it's nice that this is out of the way. I can just print, cut, package everything right in one space over here. And now to give you a bit of a tour of the studio, so as you walk in, this is how it looks like. Right here by the door, I have my table easel, my canvas drop, just if I need to do something messy I can drop it right on the floor, some of my paper rolls. And right above here I have my propagating area. These all of my new plants, they're growing their roots, ready to be planted soon. I just like these small shelves that I got from Target. They don't take a lot of space, but they are able to fit some paintings and some plants. So right next to it I have my easel, which I don't remember the brand of it, but I got it from Blix quite a while ago. And moving over to the left, I have my sewing area here. This is my thread organizer. The cards that I've got from Michael's quite a while ago, but I repurposed it to kind of carry some of my art supplies on the top. I have my papers, I have my reusable paper roll. I think this was made out of bamboo. Some of the brushes, these are my gouache paints in there. And on the middle here I have just some of my supplies for my ongoing sewing project. So I have the threads that I need right now, kind of fabric that I'm using right now, so I can just take it out and put it on the desk next to me. And right on the bottom shelf, this is my embroidery supplies. These are my hoops in there, all of my threads in there. I keep some projects in that folder. This is my dyeing kit that I haven't used yet, but I'm going to use for some of the projects as well very soon. So this card kind of doesn't leave this corner, it just stays in there, but I just like that it's easily accessible. And right here on the table, this is my sewing machine. This is a pretty simple one, but it gets the job done. It has a lot of settings, it's easy to use. It also has a handle if you need to move it, but I kind of just slide it from out of the corner and then slide it back. And to finish up with this corner, this is my Ikea drawers that I painted. They just have kind of most used supplies over here. These are all my pencils, my ink pens. Next one, it just has some markers, washi tapes, other markers. These are the ones that usually my son uses for drawing, sometimes on the walls, but that's a creative process. Oh, I have also some of my inks down in there, the ones that I'm not using as often. The middle one is my favorite one, because here I have my watercolor supplies. This is my watercolor palette that I use the most. I have some of the supplies in there as well. This is my gouache palette, the sheets for Stay Wet palette, and all of my watercolor tubes in there. The next one has my sewing supplies and some markers. I have some of the projects that are ready to join the shop, and these are just some of the smaller knickknacks that I just want to keep in one place, that I can also just take out and put them on the table when I'm working. And the bottom one also has some craft paint that my son likes to use, and this is basically a junk drawer, just a lot of smaller bottles of glue and whatever I have left over from different projects. And kind of sitting here under the table, I have my other box for more sewing supplies. This is mostly patterns and fabric and just a lot of larger stuff that didn't fit into the drawer. I have my scanner on top of it, and right here is a new pochette box that I'm excited to finally try sometime this summer. I just got it and I haven't tried it yet. I'll probably do a different video designated just to the pochette box. And here is my other Ikea drawer that I repainted. The table does not sit on this one. The table sits on the legs that are kind of over there in the back that go behind it, because this one is a little shorter. But I was able to stuff some foam boards that I'm not using currently for backdrops. This also has some camera stuff that I don't need as often. My watercolor papers, my window mats for my prints are all in here. This also has some packaging supplies, mainly the wrapping paper, the archival sheets that I put with my prints, and the sleeves that I put my prints into. The next one has a bit of more technical stuff. This is my back home tablet. This is my other drawing tablet. Don't remember the name of the second one. This one has more of a drawing paper and some just the larger sheets. And the bottom one has my palette and also just a little bit of the random stuff. And now moving back on top of the tabletop. So this is the new bamboo tabletop that I got. It is 72 by 30 inches. And I got it because I like the wood grain of the bamboo. But my dad, he is a woodworker and he specializes in wood, and he actually told me way after he purchased the tables that bamboo is one of the best kind of woods to have for craft tables, because it doesn't absorb water, so it doesn't get puffed up or it doesn't shrink under temperature. The only damage you can do it is just the physical damage. You just physically damage the table. So I'm not afraid to spill any water, even though it is varnished on the top. You can see a little bit of a sheen on top of it, but even without it, it's quite a durable wood to have for the craft table. And it's huge, which is the main factor that I liked about this table. Okay, so over here I have some of my plants. I have this cute one that sits in the water and doesn't need any soil for it. I'm not sure how long this guy is gonna live in there, but this is how I purchased it and I just thought it's a little fun. I have a little flower here that my son grew for me at school. Also a couple of his plushy toys that he decided to share with me, so they just sit here and watch me. I have a little cute table easel that I actually got for myself after I got one for my niece, and I just thought it's so cute, and my son uses it sometimes as well. Alright, over here I have some of my most used pencils and ink pens. Just the ones that I need to reach for the most, and the ones you saw in a drawer are kind of the duplicates of these. And over here, this is another desk organizer from Ikea, and I just like that it also has bamboo drawer in here that matches my table. And in here I just have a couple knickknacks. I have my flash drives, my card readers, and just a lot of random stuff in there that slides in. And I also like they have a little bit of space under it, so I can also put my planner, my tablet in there as well. Over here, another gift from my son. These are marshmallow hats, supposed to be me and my husband's, that I just thought are really cute. They're rock hard at this point, but they're quite cute. And moving on here, I now have a ring light that I use for filming my videos because I have north-facing windows, and even though it's quite bright right now, but actually I don't get a lot of the sun. There is no direct sunlight coming in here, so the new lamp does the job pretty well. And I can also adjust the temperature from cool to warm the camera really compensates for it so you can see the difference, but it is really cool. And moving over to the wall side, I have some of my books in here that I'm currently reading. This one I'm reading at the moment about the color harmony, very nice one by Margaret Kessler. And behind there I have some brushes and a pencil sharpener there in the corner. And this rack is, I think, actually a spice rack. There's also from Ikea that I decided to hang upside down because you were supposed to put stuff in there on a shelf, but the shelf has the edge here that uses quite a lot of the space, so you're not able to use the entire width of the shelf. So I just decided to flip it upside down and put a couple of these I think these cotton or linen pouches. There's one and there's another one that is also from Ikea. And also this way I'm able to use the entire space of the shelf on the top, where I have just my watercolor supplies, my acrylic paints, flowers, pencils. Here is my organizing board. And this pegboard is also from Ikea that I purchased in brown color, just like the regular wood color board, and I painted it golden color just with 2 layers. Just give it a little bit of a sheen and a little bit of an interesting look. The organizers are also the ones from Ikea that fit the design of the pegboard. And here I also have some of my watercolor brushes, watercolor mediums. These are all of my scissors that I use for fabric. And I really like these sliding out containers as well. This one has crayon rocks that I thought are pretty cool. Some more acrylic paint over here. And this one holds another plant and medium. And there are smaller ones here, and I decided to use this one as a flower pot as well. And I really like having a lot of hanging flowers here, just because they don't take much space, but they kind of add a nice accent to it. And up above I have this shelf that was here when we moved in, so I didn't change anything here. I just kind of added more books to free up some space on my bookshelf for new books, so that just kind of stayed the same. And here on the wall I have a couple of my oil painting prints. These are now enjoying their new homes. I just have the prints to kind of remember them. I have a little mirror here that is actually supposed to be used to view the canvas behind me when I paint, just to kind of get a different perspective on the painting. And I have my pothos plant in here and a nice print. I think this is called a spring. I'm going to leave the link to the artist that I purchased it from. And here is my other Ikea bookshelf that I painted and put all of my plants in there. I have my oil diffuser in there. I have this little terrarium that holds my air plants. If I can get to it, over there. And up above, this is a dry flower bouquet my son made for me. And this one is from the set from these Ikea organizers. This holds all of my essential oils. And the top shelf is just basically a flower shelf. And down here, I have my books, kind of the ones I reach out for the most. Over here I have my oil paints in the back in this clear plastic organizer. They kind of color graded. And if I just take out the book from there, you can see just all of the shelves just have different color paints in them. Moving down, this is all of my sketchbooks, because you can't have just one, right? You need more than 20. So this shelf just fits all of my sketchbooks. And this one just has some paperwork, business stuff up on the top. And this is kind of a collection of all of my current watercolors I'm working from, small and big. Just a reminder that I need to come back to them and finish up something before I archive them for storage. And this shelf just has more kind of organized papers from the projects that I'm working on. This bin holds some of the fabric also, basically just the small cuts from the projects that I have left over, just in case I need to repurpose them for something else. And at the bottom, my printing paper, and there are just some magazines behind it. And this one basically has nothing much in there, so I can fill it up with something soon. And I have the new addition that you already saw in the video. It's another card that I added to the studio space, and this one has all of my most used painting supplies, so I can just roll it out of the corner and to my easel when I'm working on it. And the bottom shelf just has some canvases, the smaller ones. The middle one has varnishing supplies, some cleaning supplies, and my cassine paints. And the top one has the wooden cover that goes on top of the shelf. Underneath is just also some cleaning supplies. But the top shelf is mainly gonna hold my glass palette, the new one. I'm waiting to open this up because I'm still kind of finishing up some of the sheets that I had on my peel off palette inside, and then I'm just going to put my glass palette inside of here. And this can be nicely rolled right beside my easel. Oh, also I like these smaller cups that go on the side, and I've been really enjoying these small cup organizers, kind of hang on the side of your card. These are also from Michaels, and this one just has some clean paper towels in there. And this one I decided to DIY into a brush holder for when I'm painting and I have dirty wet brushes that I don't want to lay down on the palette so they don't get even dirty, because usually the just handle picks up some more oil and then my hands are all dirty as well. So I just cut up 3 pieces of these cardboard insides from the paper rolls, and I'm sticking my brushes in there, and it really works pretty well. And the last thing is this little area behind the bookcase, because of the step that I have going into the studio. So I couldn't slide my bookcase all the way to the door, to the other door. So I used this space to just kind of stack all of the canvases that I hoard and hopefully will use sometime soon. And now let's jump into the exciting part of this video. So this is the lovely organizer that was sent to me by Molly Ollie, and the thank you card that came with it says, "We are a family business and your support means a lot to us." And they just have some of the information about the product and about their business, where you can find them on social media. I'm going to leave all of this information down in the description box. So one of the main things that I loved about the organizer is that I am a very tactile person. I like touching things and feeling them, and this one is made out of felt all around, all of the pockets on the side. So this is just really feels really nice in your hands when you use it. The inside is made out of, I'm not sure this is a water resistant fabric, but at least it's easy to clean and you're not afraid to damage it with your art supplies if anything leaks in there. So on the outside it has 3 pockets on one side and 3 pockets on the other side. Let's open it all the way. Oh wow, this is huge. It fits quite a lot. And also has zip pouches on the side for all the small stuff. Oh, I love these rubber bands. You see these bands for holding some of the smaller things. And these you can zip up. Oh wow, this is a lot of space. And it comes with dividers that I guess you can just see how you want to position them if you need. See, they're all attached to each other on a Velcro. So you can put the two of them or just one of them if you need to. So here is the organizer completely filled up, and if I wanted to I can squeeze even more stuff into it, but this is just to give you a perspective of how I'm going to use it. So what I decided to do is actually I want to use this for my embroidery supplies, because embroidery is usually something to do after I'm done with all of my projects and I just want to relax on the couch, or something I can do before going to bed in my bed, so I can take this into my bedroom and then bring it back downstairs with me. So all of the smaller pouches here came in so handy. I have my scissors, I have some of my pens and pencils that I use to draw patterns on the fabric, the ones that I reach out for the most. I have inside the rolls of my fabric that I embroidered on. I have all of my threads here. Look at them, they all fit in. I have my favorite book that I use for inspiration on colors. This one is fabulous. I have some more thread organizers here, the ones I'm gonna need for the project. I have my current project, which is actually one of my landscapes. So I just started with the bottom, and you can see it is slowly developing there. I have some of the smaller ones. This one I use just for practice, and I have some extra hoops if I want to do some smaller projects as well. Here I have my pencil pouch there where I keep all of my markers and pencils if I want to sketch out a design on the paper in my sketchbook first, just to see how the colors look together. So this one slips right in. These are my sewing threads, but I use them sometimes if I need to make very thin lines, so I don't have to separate the threads from my embroidery threads over here, because these come as a 6 plies and these are single ones, so I can just take a little bit of thread from here and just finish the line or the detail that I need to. And these, all of the smaller stuff in there. There's another box in there of also the smaller things. And this is my planner in here, just because if I get any last ideas that I want to do the next day, I kind of sketch them in here. I have my notebook in here as well. I have another pouch with some smaller stuff in there, another thread organizer, more fabric. I have the notebook where I sketch my designs. This one has dotted pages, makes it easier to kind of design on it. And in this lovely pouch on the side, I have more of the small stuff. I have some of the threads that I need to keep on hand for the project. I have some of the golden threads. I'm excited to incorporate this into my design. I think it's going to give a little bit of pop. And I have my small scissors that I use for my threads in there. And I just like that the small stuff can all just be zipped up and it's not going to fall out of it. So I'm very happy with it, and I'm excited to start using this. And I actually wanted to also see how much of the art supplies I can fill up in here, just in case if I want to go outside. We don't have a backyard, but we do have a nice field by our apartment complexes, so if I just wanted to do some sketching outside, I can fill it up with all of my art supplies to take with me. But for now, this is gonna hold all of my embroidery things. I'm excited to be more mobile with it. I can just take it with me, go embroider, then bring it back in the morning, or just leave it in my bedroom. And as I promised, I'm going to share a coupon code for this lovely organizer. Is going to be active for 2 weeks since the video comes out. So check it out, give it a try, and thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for joining me on my renovation and seeing how this place transformed. I'm excited for all the new things that I can do in here and that I can share with you as well. Thank you for watching this. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give it a like if you like this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.